Welcome to Everyone Needs a Coach. Today's guest is Kyle Brown, assistant coach at St. Mary's College in Minnesota, and also a member of the Rising Coaches Consulting Program. Welcome, Kyle. Our first question today is, what made you decide that mentorship could really help you? Was there a moment? Was it just a spur of the moment thing? Was it something you've been thinking about for a while? Or what kind of made you decide to get more involved with finding a mentor?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, what made me decide was I was really intrigued. Like I joined Rising Coaches back in like June-ish, somewhere around there, and I loved everything about it. And then I saw the mentorship thing, and I think the thing that intrigued me the most was just the quality of the mentors available, and seeing that there's guys that are doing it at a level that I want to be at, and just knowing I could learn a ton from them. So I don't know if it was necessarily one moment that made me want to join in, but just the fact that I know like there's so much more for me to learn. And if I could get one of those mentors that was at a level that like they've really had a ton of success and learn from them, that it was only going to help me grow as a coach. And I think it was just after the first conversation, my first conversation, I kind of knew it was going to be a good experience for me.
Terrific. You touched on it there, to make you grow as a coach. Since you've been in the program, how has it made you grow as a coach? Has it made you think differently? Is it given you new ideas? Is it given you just experiences that you can from your mentor that you can take and learn from?
Yeah, I think it's, like for me, my biggest things I've gotten from my mentor is that, just looking at the game and how he looks at it and getting a different view from someone that's been in pro basketball in the NBA for so long. Those guys are paid to just sit around and think about basketball all day. They don't have to deal with all the extra stuff that we have to deal with at the college level. So like, there's just, it's like, he doesn't say anything that is just like way like crazy. Like, it's stuff that they've sat around, and discussed, and like, they're thinking things at just such a high level. And I've just learned a ton of like, like different tactic stuff, like, how they guard different actions, scouting report. And then I think the biggest thing that, he's kind of impacted me with is just, like going about your day-to-day life as a coach, in season, out of season, how to get better, how to develop, and, like how to handle different stressors and different problems that no matter what level you have as an assistant coach, you're going to have a lot of the same problems of, like how to discuss things with your head coach, how to take things from the head coach down to the players, from the players up to the head coach. Maybe like the rest of your staff to the head coach. And like that stuff to me is like invaluable, because like that stuff's not really talked about a ton. And it's really helped me just kind of approach how I want to do things. It made me think, and it's been awesome so far.
That's great. Were you looking for anything in particular from the mentorship program, or were you just kind of going in open-minded and to whatever comes out of it, maybe I'll grow and think a little differently? Was there any expectations?
I've really tried to learn the pro game. I think that, like those guys just are the best of the best. And I've really tried to be intentional the last year or so of my life, just trying to like study those at that level and those that are the best at what they're doing. So like, I didn't really necessarily have like a specific, like I want to learn how to do this action or defend this type of action. It was more just kind of a knowledge gain of all these different areas. And there's certain areas I wanted to dive in a little deeper, like scouting and player development and that type of stuff. And then the defensive tactics part of it, I always try to learn a little bit. And those are the things that we've kind of focused on our first couple calls.
Great. And it sounds like the relationship is growing organically over time. Like you get to know coach and he gets to know you, and that just builds trust, which then you can get deeper into things as things kind of go along, right?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like you see a NBA assistant coach text you, or like, and like he genuinely cares, like, and is like remembering everything you've talked about. It's still a little surreal at times, because you see him on TV and you do that, and it's just like, well, like he's not going to care about some guy that's a D3 assistant and stuff. But like, there's like a realness to it where, I mean, he texts me and like, we're, like having back and forth conversations. And then, he takes a ton of time for me when we do our Zoom calls or whatever. And just like, we're having a legit conversation for 90 minutes. And it's not like he's, disengaged. Like, he's totally engaged, taking notes, and remembers things we talked about from past calls. So I just think that, like, that part of it to me is so cool, because there's a lot of people in coaching that aren't real, and it's just been such a real experience that it's kind of blown my mind.
Do you recommend mentorship to your college coaching buddies?
I think the biggest thing why I would recommend it is just the fact that it's always good to learn from people better than you with different experiences. Like, you can put your money to a lot of different things. Like, there's clinics, and there's, all these Zoom stuff going on, but the level of detail and the level of insight I've gained from the mentorship has been better than any clinic I've ever attended. Like, every time I talk, we have our Zoom talk with him, it's 90 minutes of a one-on-one clinic where I can ask any question to one of the best coaches in the world, and that's something that, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'd pay way more for, because it's just that access and availability. It's unbelievable. So I think, having a mentor, having someone you can kind of lean on as a coach trying to grow and get better is really important for all of us. And having someone that genuinely does care about your development and having the right mentor is one of the biggest things that, like, I don't even know if I realized how important it was to have something like that until I've done this program.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today, Kyle. We look forward to following you when you guys actually start your season and in your career growth as a coach in the years to come. Well, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.